And we usually do the plugs at the end, but you got a big weekend coming up. And before you went off to Australia, you recorded a promo for another match you've got with that pesky thorn in your side, Luke Hawx. Now, despite JP's best attempts to think that this feud was going to be over, you got one more chapter ahead of you, and you're going to be heading down into unfriendly territory this coming week. So, how is your preparation going, and are you ready?
Well, the preparation's going great. My weight's dropping by the day. My wind's coming up by the day. But look, the one thing I want to just address here up front with this is if I'm walking into his building, right, Luke Hawx's building, and the fans love him there. He helped. He built the organization. So just a little word of caution though for all the fans in the building. If anybody thinks that booze or jeers or calling me names affects the franchise, maybe they should go back and look at a few videos of me from the past, because I'm one of those guys that frankly doesn't give a fuck. So I'm going in there for one reason only. I mean, look, not taking anything away from Luke Hawx. Here's a kid who's built a career from the ground up. No major organizations. Made a hell of a name for himself. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out, as the guy who put a first title on him when he was a young wrestler, when I was booking in XPW. I don't ever recall having any kind of, I've been hit with chairs for 30 years, so I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't recall off the top of my head any kind of negativity between he and I when he was with XPW and I was booking XPW. So suddenly for there to be this diatribe for 10 plus years, on most, quite frankly, I had been unaware of it most of the time because I don't follow along with the social medias other than, lately being on Twitter, and I've been on it for 3 or 4 weeks. But I had people coming up and telling me, so we didn't get much resolved in Philadelphia. So we're going to do this one more time. We're going to find out. Look, he's a lot younger, and he's age. This is not a young man's game. But again, if the people in the building think they're going to distract me from what I know I'm good at and what I know I can do in the ring, I hope that Luke Hawx is going into this with the idea that this is going to be a cakewalk. I'm at home. The fans love me. Eat those cheers up, brother. Pay attention to them. Cater to them. Kiss their asses. Because if somebody's never, quite frankly, given much of shit about kissing babies, that's the kind of thing that'll distract him from the duty at hand. So we're going to get it done one more time this weekend. And look, at this phase of my career, win, lose, or draw, my career is set in stone. Luke Hawx, the fans in that building can't do a thing to tear down anything that I've built. Vince McMahon has tried for years, and if that jackass couldn't get it done, I doubt somebody in New Orleans is going to be able to. But one thing's for damn sure, on Saturday night, Luke Hawx and I are both going to know at the end of that night that we've been in a hell of a battle, and maybe, just maybe, he'll have a tad more respect for the franchise at the end of that night.
It's a feud. It's one of the rare blood feuds that we really have now, and it's intense. And obviously, we know straight, into this show how deep it goes because, even just sharing the videos that you've done, the promos you've done to promote this, his fans have taken shots at us. Obviously, he took a shot straight at John when John tried to just kindly assist you. Just doing a friendly a friendly bit of help.
As any good friend would.
Exactly. We know the value of that, but yeah, it's kind of funny to see that these people, the way they support him so much, they'll allow him to take shots at guys who are just kind of innocent bystanders. But I guess that calls into question maybe some of his motives. But I know John, you took a shot right to the mush, and you haven't forgotten that. So I know you're kind of rooting for Shane to really end this once and for all.
Yeah, especially when, I tried to assist Shane in the match. I mean, let's be honest. The odds were not stacked in Shane's favor because everyone in that building was against him. Even backstage, basically, me and Shane are basically kept to ourselves, except for Sabu coming by and saying hello, and Stevie Richards. But nobody else in the locker room says hello or anything, and they're really kind of disrespectful. But so so I had to try to help Shane a little bit in the match, and don't think I'm gonna forget that Luke Hawx did give me a bloody lip that night. He pretty much cheap shotted me and cold cocked me, and wasn't expecting it, and I definitely didn't like it. So Shane, please, you got it. I know you won that match, but it just extract a little bit more of revenge on the guy, because he is a tad bit disrespectful, I have to say.
Well, I'd say a bit more than that, but back to Philadelphia for just a second before moving back to New Orleans. To walk into the building that I built, let's put all the bullshit aside. The ECW arena was built largely in part. The reason that Shane Douglas stood center ring the night of the NWA convention and all those other iconic moments was because I was the guy that could deliver the goods. I was the guy that could pull the people in without a multi-million-dollar ad campaign. I was the guy that could bring the people to that building. So to have some people now coming out in Philadelphia and booing me, again, I feed off of that. That to me is, like baby faces love cheers. The franchise loves when the crowd's against him. I like back to the old days. Just I'm at home now, and now in New Orleans, I don't know if Luke Hawx has something up his sleeve, or if he's just that damn out of touch. But to book a street fight match, I have just a little bit of experience in these types of things. And I've been in the ring over the decades with an awful lot of people that were pretty damn good at street fighting. People like Terry Funk, people like Sandman, people like Tommy Dreamer, guys that taught me a thing or two outside that ring that I'll be bringing with me on Saturday night to New Orleans. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Luke Hawx in a street fight. Again, I don't know if he's got something up his sleeve. I hope he does for his sake, because to book that kind of match for Shane Douglas on a Saturday night takes me right back to the glory days. Looking forward to it.